The plump forest treasure of the old wine jar deep in the forest, beside a small wooden house, there was an old wine jar which everyone called Pang Pang. Its belly is round and plump, with light blue and white patterns on its body. The mouth of the altar is ground smooth and feels warm to the touch. Since the owner of the wooden house left, Pang Pang has quietly stayed under the tree and become a little ornament in the forest. That early morning, the little squirrel Guago came running over with a full handful of pine cones in her arms. Stamping her feet in anxiety, it had just rained, and pine cones would get moldy if they got damp, but its tree hole had not yet dried up. Guagu saw Pang Pang, and her eyes lit up. She carefully put the pine cones into the jar and said, "Pang Pang, could you help me store the pine cones for a while?" Chubby stood steadily as if saying, "Don't worry, the pine cone lay in its belly, dry and safe." At noon, the little ants passed by carrying breadcrumbs larger than themselves. Suddenly, a gentle breeze blew, and the breadcrumbs seemed about to be blown away. The leading ant captain quickly directed everyone to carry the breadcrumbs into the plump jar. The chubby belly was just enough to block the wind, and the breadcrumbs lay steadily beside the pine cones, as if they had found Shauxen's home. In the evening, it began to drizzle. Little ladybugs flapped their wet wings and flew over. Seeing the plump mouth of the jar, they quickly flew in to take shelter from the rain. It lay on the pine cone, watching the raindrops outside the jar. Suddenly, it noticed a small petal stuck to the plump blue and white porcelain. It gently wiped it off with its little paws and said, "I'll make it clean for you." When the rain stopped, Guago and the ants came to get the treasure. Seeing Dion in the jar, they all greeted each other with smiles. Guago placed the most fragrant pinnacone at the mouth of the jar. The ants brought in some shiny pebbles, and Diandian stuck a petal with dewdrops beside the blue and white flowers. The moonlight fell upon Pang Pang, the aroma of pinnacone and the sweetness of breadcrumbs still lingered in its belly, and the small gift at the mouth of the jar was shining. Pang Pang stood quietly and suddenly felt that there was no need to hold wine. Helping the forest friends protect their treasures was even more delightful than filling them with fine wine. He had also become an indispensable treasure manager in the forest.